Hello everyone, it's Matt here, and this is the Trixbrix R104 double crossover. So this has been completely assembled. There's 12 pieces in total, the 4 for the centre crossover section, and then there's 2 for each section of point work, so 2 here, 2 here, 2 here and 2 there. And those are actually able to be used for standard R104 turnouts. So only the centre ones are actually unique to this assembly. This is what the packaging looks like. So you just get a big resealable envelope with the Trixbrix piece of cardboard on top. And the little bit of the blurb here just says, thanks to a smoother curve, your trains can run at a much higher speed and look more natural. Based on R104 curve geometry, independent switches with spring mechanism and toy blocks contain 12 elements. There's a little thing there that says 3D printed, and then the back is just some address and some barcodes and that sort of stuff. So, being 3D printed, you'll no doubt want a comparison between 3D printed and the original thing. Well, this is a piece of original Lego track, and if I take off this switch here, you can sort of see how well it comes apart. You can sort of see the difference in pieces here. Now I've got the combination of both natural light coming from the window there and artificial light coming from above. So I don't know how well the camera is going to pick up these differences, but to be honest with you, with the exception of the glossiness, the colour is pretty much spot on. And I don't really see any real blemishes in the finish of the 3D printed one compared to the nice injection moulded piece of Lego straight track. But you can sort of see the difference in the shininess just from this, just when I'm doing this. It's rather dull in terms of the actual light reflection, so that's obviously the main aspect of it. Then you can tell that it's not proper Lego, is that it's, and the fact it's 3D printed is that you lose the shine from the injection moulding and the clean finish. But, so one of the problems which 3D printed track has compared to regular injection moulding is fit and friction. So you can sort of see here that there's not a lot of resisting points in the track webbing. So on regular track can do that. But on Trixbrix it falls off. So if I have a regular piece, you can see here there's another, so there's some actual sort of spigots coming out from the main bit, and there's also a dot in between that hold onto it perfectly. So what does this mean if you're using Trixbrix track? Well, if you're going to use this track, obviously you can't just use a single stud like that, you've got to use 2. So obviously if I put 2 on, it's actually holding it on. So if I put this completely in like that, that's actually held on quite tightly, and that to be good enough for exhibition running and that sort of stuff. But in terms of actual friction fit, you can clearly tell the difference between this 3D printed and the actual genuine Lego. So this means that you're probably going to have a bit of a harder time ballasting your R104 double crossover, should you choose to get one. One of the other aspects as well, compared to Lego, is the actual friction between the track elements. So you can sort of see here that I've actually reassembled the track, and there's actually a little gap here between the two. So normally that should be like that, but there is times when it sort of drifts apart a bit. So obviously you'd probably need to tile this bit on both ends, so there's the one there and the one there, and that will just hold it together really nicely. The best thing about this compared to standard Lego elements and that sort of thing is actually the independent turnouts. So obviously this one is actually independent from this one, so I can have these both set to straight, whereas the Lego product, which again was only R40 I believe, or R44, would allow you to do one side as straight, but another side would be change. So this would be straight and that would be actually divert. So on this one you can actually have all set to go straight, or you can set only one to cross over, or you can have all set to cross over like that. So there's a great amount of flexibility and options for, you know, track configurations using this. The big drawback, as far as I'd be concerned, is how close these are in terms of actuation. So obviously, if these are both out to straight ahead mode, you're only getting about 3 studs gap between them. So any sort of mechanism that drives these turns has to be really small. Obviously, there might be a way of doing it in actual real life, and some people have probably already motorised one of these. But personally, I think the best aspect for this is if you're going to use it for exhibition, is just to leave it as is with no motorisation, and then just use manual switching to change it over. The manual switching as well is not as strong as Lego, so you don't have a definite snap. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does do a nice return, but in terms of actual snap, like that, it's not instant, and I actually like that out of the track. It's a bit more realistic. Track, when it's, well, turnouts when they change do not have a straight thunk, and the change is actually not slow, but reasonably slow, sort of slide over, depending on what changing them, of course. So electric points and modern points are a bit quicker than the Lego sort of motorisation. A lot of them it's just like snap and it's changed. So, so would I recommend the R104 double crossover? And to be honest, I thoroughly would. It's more to scale. I mean, you can sort of see this is a 50-foot flat car, or I think it's 50, or it might be 52. I think it is just 50 foot 6 inches or some weird dimension like that. It's a BMR product. You can sort of see this is not dwarfed by the. It is still smaller than the turnout, but in terms of actual scale, it looks a lot better, and it looks a lot more realistic running through. So it definitely looks better in terms of scale as it rolls through. So, you know, it's a massive improvement compared to the Lego offerings. It's expensive, don't get me wrong. I think this was 10% off due to, or something like that, due to some Black Friday offers. So this actually cost me $49.50, I think it is, just for this. So it's not cheap, but I definitely do think it's worth it. You might not want to completely fill your layout with these. I mean, these are not the most realistic aspects of track because of all the, in real life, all the casting parts. So you'd have this would be cast, that would be cast, that would be cast. You know, there's lots of individual castings which and rails which you might not be able to use anywhere else except for one of these. So these wouldn't be very common, but nonetheless these are a nice product. Hopefully they'll be coming out with proper just independent R104 turnovers or turnouts at some point. Turnovers, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's a fantastic product. Ballasting is the biggest drawback, I feel. So I'm not that bothered about finish, but yeah, I think it's a fantastic product, and you know, if you've got a chance to get one at a good price, I don't necessarily think everyone's going to be rushing out to buy them at £55, which is what Trixbrix UK want for them. I don't think you're going to be rushing out to buy one at that price, because you can get a lot of actual elements for that. But if you do see them and they're on a discount or something, then they're probably worth getting, even if it's just the one, just for that looks so much better than Lego feedback. So, you know, I definitely recommend it from that aspect. So that's it for the review, and that's it. So that's it for this video, and see you later.